Good afternoon, all. I would like to welcome you all for the 3 days online workshop on NAAC binary accreditation organized by BET Degree College and IQAC Initiative Bismillah Nagar Banargata Road across Bangalore in association with NCBs. And I would like to welcome uh, today's speaker, Dr. Blessy Ma'am. She is an proactive professional lecturer and researcher with 2.6 years of industry experience and 4 plus years of experience teaching courses on undergraduate and postgraduate levels, distinguished record of publication in academic journals all over the world, commitment to helping students develop their full potential in their studies. And she has an industry experience, served as a customer relation manager at CAE Industries Private Limited and served as the administrative in charge in High Tech Engineering Private Limited, Coimbatore. And she is specialized in system management and human resource management. She has published and presented international and national level chapter titled Navigating Complexities Through Unveiling Sustainability Challenges in AI Using Bibliometric Approach in Scopus Industry, and published a paper titled Factors Influencing Growth of Micro Entrepreneurship in the Hospitality Industry, an empirical study in India in a Scopus Industry Q2 journal. And she also attended FTP's workshop webinars on the title of Adaptive Strategies in Tourism and Heritage for Competitiveness and Sustainable Development and Quality Research and UGC CARE journals, Business Management, Accounting and Finance, Economics and Tourism, and Environmental Sustainability and Research Ethics. I welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, organizing team. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Okay. Shall I go ahead? Shall I start?
Yes, ma'am, you can start the session.
Okay. A very pleasant evening, one and all present here. Let me share my presentation first. Hope the presentation is also visible.
Yes, ma'am, it's visible.
Okay.
And make it a full screen, ma'am.
Yes, yeah,
If
yeah, sure.
yeah.
Hope it's full screen now.
Yes, ma'am.
So, first of all, I would like to thank the college management, the organizing team for organizing such a wonderful 3 day FDP on NAAC binary accreditation. So, this is the need of the hour now because we are actually moving towards this accreditation process. We are moving towards NEP, achieving NEP 2020. This is actually the right time that the college management has organized the IQAC. Has initiated these kind of FDPs, which is welcoming. And I thank the organizers, the college management for providing me such an opportunity to act as one of the resource persons. I hope all of you. I hope I'll be able to justify myself in giving a proper deliberation for this NAAC binary accreditation, and I hope that I'll also be able to get academic connections from. I hope there are so many people from various colleges here, so I'll be able to get the academic connect as well. So as we move on with our today's session, it's all going to be so I hope, I believe 2 days you would have had the introduction about the NAAC binary accreditation process, and what are the attributes, I mean, like what are the outline of NAAC binary accreditation, why do we go for it, and what's the important, what are the challenges that have been overcome by bringing up this NAAC accreditation process and all of that sort. Today I'll be concentrating more on the attributes part from there are like I hope if you have listened to the previous days FDP, there were input, process, and outcome. So I would like to give you an understanding on what is that input, what is that process, and what is the outcome, and the comparison of the present accreditation system, and how we are going to move forward by actually reaching the implementation of NEP 2020. So I'll be actually carrying out from attribute 5. So before we move on with the understanding of accreditation process, why binary accreditation? The we'll first have to understand the comparison of the present accreditation system, and what is the line of NEP's vision. So firstly, if you could see, it's the present accreditation system right now we are having, if you have NAAC, if you consider about NAAC, we are under the revised accreditation framework now. um, right, so it is all score based, and rating based. Multiple grade accreditation is what we are having now. In the case of NEP 2020's vision, it's all binary accreditation, whether it's yes or a no. Okay, so next, if we see, it is portal self disclosure. So we are actually disclosing the details of the institutions through portals. So here NEP's vision is all about publicly disclosing the so we are actually posing all our information on a platform where everybody can see, all the stakeholders can also see. So next is the single accreditation institution, and NEP, when you come to NEP 2020, it is approved accreditation institutions. So single accreditation is only one body is going to check out whether this particular institution or university or college, whatever it is eligible for accreditation or not. By approved accreditation institution is that, like, people, not only the body, but others can also, the stakeholders can also look into, the quality of the institution has provided some justice. So that's what is the vision of NEP 2020, and one size fits all model. So till now we are having that model, but when you consider the case of NEP 2020, it's all for university. This is going to be the criteria for autonomous colleges. These if criteria, these attributes, these parameters, if it is met, that's enough. For colleges, other institutions, if these criteria are met, that then that's enough. So it's not from it is actually having a shift towards one size fits all model to the discipline specific, or you can call it as university, the type specific process. Then when you consider the process, it's all about the input, process, and limited outcome approach. That's what we currently have. NEP's vision is that majorly it is outcome based. So we are going to concentrate on the input, process, but we are going to majorly concentrate on the outcome part of it. And if you see, the present accreditation system, it's all generic. It's not it is rather than narrowing it down to each and every parameter, the policy, the benefits, is going to be, it's the generic policy, it benefits just as an incentive for the accreditation. But NEP's vision is that empirical policy, which is like working things out, and then we are actually being motivated to get the accreditation. So these are all, this is the comparison, and this is why we go for. So in order to go get in line with this NEP 2020, this NAAC binary accreditation has been implemented. So from when this NAAC binary accreditation is to be launched, is that as per Dr. Radhakrishnan committee recommendations. So this committee, this Radhakrishnan committee has had its inception since 2017. So from 2017 itself, they've been they had the vision of bringing the policies into place, from the graded to binary. Okay, so it has proposed to launch the binary accreditation in the month of April, between April to May 2025, followed by you'll be having that maturity based graded levels, so which is called as MB. So that's another level of that's all the institutions, whether it is has reached its benchmark up to the mark, the quality is up to the mark, up to the excellence. Okay, so that is what is maturity based graded levels. So as on date, the release, the recommendations provided by the Radhakrishnan committee, the NAAC committee's decisions as of 10th February 2025 is that um, you may have doubts like whether we our colleges in this particular in this particular situation, whether we can go ahead with a binary accreditation, or whether we can right away without getting binary accreditation, without getting the accreditation, whether can we straight away go to MBGL or not, like we'll be having certain doubts, right? So to clarify all those doubts, NAC committee has extended its decisions upon these important points. Like, it allows the higher education institutions in cycle 2 and above. So you have got cycle 1, you have gone through cycle 1, the institution is in cycle 2 and above, and it is under revised accreditation framework. So RAF is nothing but the current accreditation system with 7 criteria, right? So that is what we call it as RAF. So allow the higher education institutions in cycle 2 and above under RAF to retain the validity of their present grade until the basic accreditation and MBGL are launched. Suppose if you have submitted, if you have got NAC during 2020, the cycle is that like 5 years, right? So five years. Now we are in 2025. So again, once again, if we want to go under RAF, you can go under RAF. Okay, so until if it is going to get launched in 2025, you can go for either you can go for binary accreditation once again, or you can straight away, based on the college's preparedness, you can straight away go with maturity based grading levels as well. So they may then choose either of the two, either basic you can go or MBGL you can go, but you it's the thing that you should be cycle 2 and above. The second point is that HEIs in cycle 1 under RAF are given the option to opt for basic accreditation. So if you are in cycle 1, or if you have never gone for NAC process before, this is the first time if you're going for NAC process, you can opt for basic accreditation, you can go for binary accreditation. So these are two valid points. And if any of the HCIs mentioned above in these two categories, either cycle 2 and above or in cycle 1, and if you still wish to proceed with the previous assessment, which is like revised accreditation framework, then in that case the peer team assessment, it will be carried out through an online mode. For colleges, if you don't wish to proceed with the binary accreditation or MBGL, things like that, you can still wish to proceed with RAF, because we are still in the implementation stage. We are in the we are like NAC is still in the launch stage. So that's why this provision has been allowed till, I mean, like as of Feb 2025. Tomorrow we might even expect a change sooner. So we might not know that. So till date, today, if we are going to talk about it, you may still wish to proceed with the current accreditation frame like revised accreditation framework under 7 criteria. You can go ahead. If you're a college, the peer team visit will be carried out through an online mode. But if you're an university, it will be carried out in online as well as offline. So online as well as physical. The assessment is going to happen in hybrid mode. That's what is the main point about this. And you might have heard about what are the key highlights of binary accreditation. Why do we go for that? What's the use of going for binary grading system and things like that? So the highlights is that binary grading is nothing but yes or no, right? So accredited or not accredited, so that's the receiving rate. Or you can get provisionally accredited, which means like you're waiting for the results, awaiting for accreditation, that's the meaning. So it focuses on minimum quality benchmarks rather than ranking institutions. So that is one very important point. And next, if we could see, it is going to simplify your accreditation process. Yes, so it is going to reduce the complexity of the assessment framework. Primarily, it evaluates basic eligibility criteria for accreditation. So it's going to so whoever is eligible to apply, you can do like these are the basic criteria. If you get that, okay, you can get through the process and you can get it. So simplified accreditation process. So it has actually reduced the complexity of the assessment work. So next is the increased inclusivity. Even the small institutions, even the newborn institutions, but having one batch passed out, they may also be able to apply. So new institutions might think that like it has to wait until like 10 years or 15 years. Let me get the expertise and then we'll go for accreditation. That's not needed. So if one batch is passing out, you can straight away go either like 3 years or 4 years or whichever is earlier to the institution. You can go ahead with the so that shows the inclusivity. So it helps expand the coverage of accreditation across the country. It's like fair. We are playing fair, right? So that is one highlight here. And the other highlight is very important one. As we live in a tech driven environment, tech driven world, we live with data right now. So the scheme, one nation one data platform, to exhibit and to implement that, a centralized digital system ensuring transparency, authenticity, and stakeholder validation. I've talked about it earlier. So stakeholder also can, sorry, so stakeholder can also look into the data and validate it. So that's why one nation, one data platform. And it also focuses on continuous improvement. So institutions, they need to meet the minimum quality standard, but are encouraged to improve for higher accreditation levels as well under the traditional NAAC accreditation system. So periodic reviews will also enhance the quality of the institutions. So there is continuous improvement focus, and the alignment, obviously, and the alignment with the NEP 2020. So that actually we are in the transformative stage. So the transformative reforms have been happening since 2017. So it's in place. So so as soon as the launch is going to happen, like in 2025, we can see some big change that's going to come. So it will also promote a culture of quality assurance in higher education. These are the key motives of binary accreditation, as far as NAAC is concerned. And we have so I hope so you would have been undergone the what attributes and all will be coming under the evaluation parameters, right? So like previously we had 7 criteria, if I'm not wrong. So we had curricular aspects, teaching and learning evaluation, research, innovation and extension. We had infrastructure and learning resources. We had student support and progression. We had governance, leadership and management. Then we have institutional values and best practices. These were the 7 criteria under RAF. We have it till now, but now it is actually transformed into 10. And the first 4 attributes, we call it criterions, were there previously called, now we call it attributes. So attributes 1 to 4 is considered as input, and attributes 5, 6 and 7 is considered as process, the exact thing that's happening. And 8, 9 and 10 is going to be the outcome that we are going to get. So attribute 1 is all about curriculum design. Attribute 2 is all about faculty resources, and attribute 3 is all going to talk about the infrastructure. And attribute 4 is financial resources and management. And attribute 5 under process we have learning and teaching. Under attribute 6 we have extended curricular engagements. And attribute 7 we have government and governance and administration. So attribute 8 is all going to, from attribute 8 it's going to be outcome. So the NAAC's binary accreditation system is all, it's going to get its focus on these outcomes. Okay, so student outcomes, research and innovation outcomes, and finally sustainability outcomes and green initiatives. As we move towards the 2030 agenda, which is the SDG, right? So like we are moving towards reaching the SDGs, all the 17 SDGs that are there. So sustainability outcomes and green initiatives is very new, like compared to the 7 criterion. This one is very new, as getting in under the outcome part. So you would have been gone through all these in the 2 days of previous sessions. um, the first four attributes is the, if you say the split up is like this. So for university you have to get 225 is the contribution out of 1000. And for autonomous it's going to be 225, and affiliated it's going to be 275, the score split up. And process, if you see, 325 is the process split up for universities. For autonomous, it's 375, and for affiliated, it's 400. So as you can see, 400 for affiliated institutions, if they concentrate on the process part, which is teaching and learning, extended curricular engagement, governance and administration, they can score easily 400 easily. And the highest under university, if you see, it's going to be the outcome. And autonomous, if you see, again it's going to be under the process. So 350 is going to be the outcome under university, and 300 under autonomous, and 225 under affiliated. And the 100 is given for is at stake for all the three division, I mean like categories of the institutions, whether things are in place. So for that, people have given, like the committee has given 100. So totally you can the score is 1000. So we'll I hope the first four attributes have, so you'll know about what are the under curriculum, what and all will be coming, and faculty resources, what concentrations has to be given under infrastructure, how the how the university or autonomous colleges or affiliated colleges, whatever it is, how NAC ready it should be, and how they should be ready under financial resources and management. Now, so input and all is, you'll be well aware if I'm not wrong. And we are now going to concentrate on the next from 5, from process to outcome. So we are going to be concentrating on teaching and learning, extended curricular engagement, governance and administration, student outcomes, research and innovation outcomes, sustainability outcomes, and green initiatives. That's what we are going to see. Under each attributes, what are the metrics, what are the measures, what are the evaluation parameters that we are going to concentrate, how in what and all aspects the college or the management should be ready in order to face the binary accreditation framework of NAC. So under hold on. So under give me a minute please. I'm back. Sorry for that. I hope the screen is visible. Okay. So to start off with, Attribute 5, under learning and teaching, the score split up for university is 125. We have seen the overall scores under input, process, and outcome, right? So for attribute 5 alone, if you see, for attribute 5 teaching and learning alone, if you see, it's going to be, for the university, it's going to be 125. And for autonomous colleges, it's going to be 150. And for affiliated colleges, it's going to be again 150. No change in that. So the under the metrics under the learning and teaching is that, what are the concentrations that are falling under learning and teaching is that pedagogical approaches, learning management, industry academia linkage, then assessment components, catering to diversity, academic grievances redressal, then we have adherence to academic calendar. So we'll see one by one under pedagogical approaches what and all we should like. What are the reports, or what are the parameters that we have to get into? So under pedagogical approaches. Teaching and learning strategies, it is going to include group learning and teaching, then individual learning or self study, whether we have it or not, then game based learning, technology based learning, peer teaching, learning through problem solving, then we have project based learning. So for all these, so we have our own course files and all, right? So under that we can have include all these. So we can include flipped classrooms, we can include, I mean, like, what are the new learning, teaching and learning methodologies that we are going to bring forth, role plays and things like that, right? So the sample lesson plans for courses with specific teaching techniques as selected in the item has to be made. So a pucker proof has to be created day wise. So while we create the proof, since nobody is going to come and visit, no peer team visit is there, the thing is that, so we have to be super ready. We have to keep the proof pakka. For that, what we have to do is that we'll have to keep all the geotagged photos in place, and whatever document we create, if we create with date, signature, seal, the authentic way of projecting our document is very, very important, as it's all going to be data driven. Okay, like, in manual process, if you could see, if you have heard about an incident recently in Andhra Pradesh, the university, the deemed to be university, it has been debarred for at least 5 years, and the NAAC peer team members were also like, they were also been lifetime, they won't be included under any bodies like this. So that's what. So to remove all these unfair practices, it's all data driven now. It's all, so that is also a positive point about the NAC binary accreditation. So teaching and strategies, we can include all these, and we can include in the course file the sample lesson plan for each courses, and the technique in which we are going to teach that. Group learning, I'm going to use this method. Individual learning, we are going to do this method. Game based learning, we are going to bring in some market simulation activity or simulation based game, I mean, like, gamification, or whatever activity, I mean, like, I'm going to do some AI based teaching. There are so many tools available nowadays, so all these you can include, you can put it in a very detailed lesson plan, and then that could be projected to, that could be uploaded. So for autonomous college, it's going to be the same. For, for these are the universities mandatory requirements for the pedagogical approaches. For autonomous colleges also, it is going to be the same. But for affiliated colleges, if you see, there is a slight change in the metric. So options from A to E, from group learning, individual learning, game-based learning, technology-based learning, peer teaching, and all is going to get retained for affiliated colleges. But F and G could be emitted. It could be moved off. So the mark, so that's not important for affiliated colleges to follow. Moving on with 5.2, which is learning management system. So the effective, for university, the score is going to be 20 for this particular 5.2. And for LMS, for autonomous college and for affiliated colleges, it's going to be the same. So the mark 20 is evenly distributed for the metric 5.2 learning management system. The effective use of the institution's LMS is reflected through the following, which is sharing teaching materials through that LMS portal, submission of assignments. Also, we normally do it in Google Classrooms, right? But if we have an exclusive portal for that, and if we showcase to them that we can provide working links, then we can include screenshots of every a module that are there. So we'll have to make sure that it's blended learning, which is there. And how the materials are easily being seen to people. That is also the sharing of materials, submission of uh, teachers sharing the materials to students, students submitting the assignments to. So like it's either way, communication is two-way. So assessing the outcomes, blended learning support is there. So as we move towards the digitalized world, so this LMS is required. So it's kept as a mandatory thing. So it's going to be the same for autonomous college and affiliated college. Moving on with 5.3 metric, it's industry academia linkage. The score for university is 20 here, for autonomous is 25 here, and for affiliated it's not applicable. For universities and autonomous colleges have to concentrate on building that linkage, industry academic connection. So the nature of industry academic collaboration activities involves lectures from industry experts. So you can one way is that we call it adjunct faculty, we call it visiting faculty and all, right? Like if the course is all about 45 hours, if the course is 45 hours, maybe 20 hours an internal faculty can handle, and the rest of the 25 hours industry experts can handle. So that way you call it visiting faculty. And you can also say adjunct faculty, adjunct professors from other maybe from other global connect. You can have people from there, and things like that could work. So for all those, proof has to be created. And not only from industry lectures from industry experts, from collaborative workshops, seminar, conferences with industry and stakeholders. You can do panel discussions. You can keep round table and all. So that could also work here. Field visits, industry visits. You can take students to for industrial visits, and that records can happen. And internships outside the curriculum. So few colleges, what they do is right now, what they do is that as we live in a competitive world, under business management, if you ask, half a day colleges are happening, and rest of the half day they are into the students are into companies. They learn, they every day they go there, learn, and then they come back. So that is also one internship outside the curriculum also happens. And proof of linkage or collaboration with relevant details should be there. And if the internship students are going out for internships every day, they can get some signatures from the people who are there, and then proof can be collected like that. Proof of lecturers from industry experts, proof of workshops, field visits, seminar, conferences, etc. That can also be. Proof is very, very important for you to upload it digitally. So digitally made proof is very, very important. So moving on with 5.4, it's going to talk about assessment components. The score for this particular component is 20 marks, 20 for universities, and for autonomous colleges it's going to be 25, and for affiliated colleges it's going to be 20. So assessment components, how is the internal assessments as well as the external assessments, how it's happening. So the continuous evaluation system, it involves quiz with MCQ, or case studies, how the assessment goes. Projects, how the assessment goes. Are there, for projects, are there reviews happening? How many reviews are going, like review 1, 2, 3, and an assessment from industry persons, that can also happen. The project guides assessment, whether will it get involved into the continuous evaluation system, that can also happen. That can also be recorded, and that can also be kept as proof. And assignments, how it is being evaluated. For these evaluation systems, rubrics is very, very important. That's what nowadays the audit team is actually giving us advice on creating rubrics. So if it is going to be quiz, how are you going to give each marks? If it is going to be case study, how the students should get projected. Seminar presentations, mean like the content delivery, the presentation skill, the question answering, like answering capability of the student. All these rubrics can be added. And any other can be specified, example self assessment, peer assessment, assessment of vocational skills, if any, can be added. And what are the documents that are supporting documents, like what are the exact documents and supporting documents that has to be created under 5.4 assessment components, is that sample lesson plan for courses which with specific assessment method as selected by the institution can be done. And minutes of the board of evaluation, indicating continuous internal evaluation and approved methods of evaluation. So board of studies, when we go for when we do our regulation, when we like when we prepare the regulation, or when we change do some corrections in the syllabi, or bring some minor changes in the curriculum, that time you can get this get this passed, whatever is there. So that minutes can be actually kept under the assessment components as well. And then moving on with 5.5, catering to diversity. um, the university, for the score for university is going to be 10, and for autonomous colleges it's going to be 15, and for affiliated colleges it's going to be 25. So support for differential learning include. So differential learning is like tailor made for bright students. You can actually make the bright students to attend for big competitions, great competitions. You can showcase their talents. For example, you have Speak for India and all, right? Like for that and all, you can encourage the bright students to even come out even with flying colors. But for slow learners, you can give remedial coaching and all. So the differential learning is that, like, it is not one and the same, but it's tailor made. So that's what is the meaning. So remedial teaching, bridge courses. So like before getting on with the proper course, bridge courses, like between newly finished +2 candidates from college, and college, when they enter into college, they may have some problems. So bridge courses can be done. Enrichment courses can also be done. Additionally, language proficiency courses, teaching and writing examinations in their own language, their own regional language. That's what Bharatiya Bhashas is all about. And so this catering to diversity, like diversified, like students are not one and the same. They have their own individual capabilities. So for that, the name has been given. And the circular and timetable of differential learning classes. So maybe extra coaches, extra remedial coaching for slow learners. This the timetable circular. So during internal test 1, this was the mark got. During internal test 2, this was the mark. This was the mark got. So we have prepared timetable for that. We have put the students under this particular time. They took the class, and then after internal test 2, they were able to improve from test 1 to test 2. That can be shown. And specific approach and list of students enrolled can also be included. Detailed report with photographs based on each option selected should also be there. So bridge courses, while it's happening, can do a report on it, can do click pictures with geotag. And so each and every day of our teaching practice, we can actually, if we are doing something relevant to the metrics, we can click it and keep it, and later on we can create some report and you can have it in a digitalized form. So it'll be easy for us to upload whenever necessary, or upload whenever asked by from the IQAC team. So autonomous college, it's going to be the same, and for affiliated colleges also it's going to be the same. 5.6, if we under 5.6, you have academic grievances redressal. So for that, uh, for university it's 10, the score is 10. For autonomous colleges it's going to be 15, and for affiliated colleges it's not applicable. So they don't need to concentrate on this part. So the academic related grievance redressal, it includes sharing copies of answer scripts, so retotaling whether these redressal mechanisms are there. So is sharing copies of answer scripts is there, retotaling is whether it is there, revaluation is there, shortage of attendance, whether proper proofs are there. So policy document or examination manual for academic grievance redressal system, highlighting the selected options, it has to be there, it has to be um, properly kept. Then 5.7 is all about adherence to academic calendar. So the score for this is, for the university is 10, for autonomous colleges it is 15, and for affiliated colleges might not be applicable. So whether the number of teaching days are followed as per the UGC guidelines. So number of teaching days in a year, how much? For odd semesters, for even semesters, we calculate it. So so average number of days from the date of last semester end slash year end examination till the last date of declaration of results, year wise during the last 3 years. So like during the assessment period. So suppose if it is like 21 to 22, 22 to 23, 23 to 24, for the 3 years, we are actually going to calculate the number of working days, I mean like number of teaching days in a year, and we're going to till the declaration of the results, things are uh, the number of days are getting tallied. That's what is important. And reports from the controller of examination office, the academic schedule, the academic calendar, and all annual reports mentioning the relevant details. So from this period to this period, the students can go for projects. This period to this period, internal exam. This period to this period, semester exam. This period to this period, last working day. Mentioning all those, the notified exam date, result declaration, all those from the reports from the controller of examination, it has to be um, duly, I mean, like signed, and it has to be there. So autonomous college, it's the same procedure has to be followed in place. Next, criteria, I mean, like attribute number 5, teaching, learning, and teaching. It gets over here. So it had 5 points, like it had 7 metrics under learning and teaching, accounting to 125 score for university, 150 score for autonomous, and 150 for affiliated. Moving on with attribute number 6, extended curricular engagements. So for this, the the contribution of sorry, the split of marks is that 100 for university and 125 for autonomous college and 125 for affiliated college. So 6.1 is going to talk about, so there are like 6 metrics under attribute 6. 6.1, it's going to talk about domain related clubs, activities and technical festivals, and cultural clubs and activities and festivals. 6.3 is all about mental well-being, clubs and activities. 6.4 is all about value education. 6.5, sports clubs, teams and activities. 6.6 is focused fully on community, like developing the community, like towards what helping the community, helping the villages to drive towards sustainability. The social awareness activities, the health and hygiene related activities, adoption of villages such as UBA. UBA is nothing but Unat Bharat Abhiyan, which majorly concentrate on helping villages to move towards sustainability, and the inclusivity also, that is also being included. So when if we want, if we get into the elaborated metrics of evaluation parameters of 6.1, domain related clubs, activities, and festivals, this 6.1 alone carries 20 under university, 25 for autonomous college, and affiliated colleges it is again 25. So number of domain clubs that are there. So if you call EDC clubs like fine arts club, entrepreneurship development cells and all, number of activities carried out, and number of institutions participated in the domain related festivals, number of in industry bodies involved in all those activities, number of professional bodies involved, number of hackathons or workshops conducted. All these are required under 6.1. So details of the existing club published in institutional prospectus. So we have the institute, the prospectus and all, brochures. We'll have newsletters and all. So details of all these clubs should be published. That will act as a proof, and reports of the events, each and every event that we do, that has to be mandatorily converted into a digital proof, and list of students participated, the beneficiaries. So in the report itself, we'll normally be including about how many are the beneficiaries, and whether um, um, whether uh, the beneficiaries are within the institution, or from it is going to be intra or inter, or from the community side. uh, that also has to be listed. So for autonomous college and for affiliated college also, it is going to be the same. So moving on with 6.2, we have cultural clubs and activities and festivals. The score of which is university is going to be score is 20, autonomous is 25, and affiliated is 25. So number of cultural clubs. For example, if you take if you are from if you are like if a department, or if it is from the I mean like from tourism, so tourism day celebrations and domain specific. So uh, number of cultural clubs that are there, number of total number of activities carried out. So number of institutions participated in the cultural festivals, number of activities to celebrate diversity, such as Ek Bharat Shresth Bharat programs. So we have all those getting involved in all those um, activities like One India, Excellent India program, right? So it is majorly initiated by the government of India to promote, to actually preserve the culture. Actually, culture preservation is very very important, right? To preserve the culture, and to actually acknowledge the heritage, and to respect the indigenous culture that we have. All these initiatives holds credits. So details of the existing cultural clubs published in institutional prospectus, brochures, again the reports of the events, certified list of institutions participated, and the number of activities, not only the number of activities conducted, beneficiaries, about the beneficiaries, what are the benefits that are there, all those details, in a very explicit manner, in a digitalized manner also, if it is in place, then shouldn't worry. So for autonomous college and for affiliated colleges also, it's going to be the same. So next we are moving on with the 6.3, which is going to talk about the mental well-being clubs and activities. So the score is going to be 10 for university, 15 for autonomous colleges, and 15 for affiliated colleges. And the number of activities or clubs involved in promoting mental well-being, such as yoga, counseling, meditation, etc. Many colleges, many institutions now, it is they are actually bringing these as a course itself, right? So it'll be very easy for us to record keep it. So student mentoring activities include student counseling, training the faculty to identify student psychological issues, availability of trained counselors, that is all, that also has to be there. So maybe conducting activities that will provide some sensitization. And nowadays we can see posh people are provided with posh training and all. You can call people like that, give provide counsel, because people, youngsters, they go through a lot of problems. So that is very very important. So details of all those mental well-being clubs, the activities, the details of activities, the reports of activities, copy of counseling schedule and registry. This is also very very important. We are calling a counselor from outside, this is the time they have the schedule has been made for these particular persons, I mean like students, and these counselings have been given, and what is the outcome of it. Reports of training programs for faculty as well. And details of trained counseling experts, like just like that we can't call a person nearby and we can't do it. So we'll have to make sure that trained professionals, trained counseling experts are who knows psychology, who is actually a psychologist or a proper practicing counselors, trained counselors. So the details of them, the profile of them are also has to be kept ready. So this applies to autonomous college as well as affiliated college. Moving on with 6.4, value education. The score for university is going to be 10, and for autonomous colleges it's going to be 15, and for affiliated college it's going to be 15. Activities which focus on inculcating values, ethics, morals, etc. So we normally we can actually bring in courses on value education, whether it's going to be a mandatory course, or a non-credited course, or a credited course, whatever it is. That setting up, that planning and all has to be it lies with the institution. But the certified list of courses that focuses on the value education, it may be a course which does not, like the course, it might not sound like a value education course, but if a module actually concentrates on value education course, you can say that this particular course focuses on value education. If not value education as a course itself you are bringing in, you can also bring down to and this is a particular course which has a focus on value education. So that also can be kept as proof. And number of lectures, seminars on value education, proofs for lectures, seminars on value education, rewards and recognitions given in line with that can also be kept as proof. And it's going to get applied for autonomous college as well as for affiliated college. So moving on with the metric 6.5 under extended curricular engagements, sports club / teams and activities are going to be the focus here. So there, university is actually 15 percentage of the mark is for universities, and 20, I mean mark is for autonomous colleges, and 20 marks is counted under affiliated colleges. The percentage of students participated in the sports events organized by other institutions at the state, national, and international levels. Not not the our institution, not the same institution, but other institutions. Students participated in other colleges conduction in conduction of the sports events organized by other institutions. Number of students participated in the sports events organized by other institutions at all these levels. Certified list of students participated in the sports events, not only the students who have win accolades, but participation that itself is good. So that has to be mandatorily, that has to be um, uh, has to be kept as proof. So it's going to get applied for autonomous college and affiliated college. The thing is that the mark deviations alone is different for universities and other autonomous and affiliated colleges. Next we have 6.6. Under 6 we have 6.6, which is community focused activities. So this way we were talking about we were actually talking about UBA and all, right? So that is what. So the social awareness activities. So the mark split up is that 25 for universities, 25 for autonomous, and 25 for affiliated. So the community focused activities, as you can see, it's been evenly split. The social awareness activities conducted by the institutions on communities can be, you can actually illustrate through improve gender ratio, improve gross enrollment ratio. Okay, so the diversity, you show the diversity, like um the ratio in which the students are taken in, improvement of the gross enrollment ratio, and clean village, disease free village. These are the activities, campaigns that may be conducted. Awareness on finiteness of resources. As we actually live in we actually live in the time where geopolity is actually happening everywhere. So the awareness of like usage of resources, energy and all, so that awareness has to be created to the public. So constitutional awareness. So what is the right to be citizen of India, citizenship. So understanding the citizenship, I mean like asking, I mean like creating awareness, social awareness on people how to behave. So that's what is constitutional awareness all about. And eco-friendly communities or villages. So the yeah, so usage of bags and all, right? So like without plastic free, I mean like plastic free. Improved literacy levels also matters. So if dropouts are there, so the like what the importance of education can be stressed upon, and that can be conducted as activity. And if dropouts are there, like that, those can be addressed, those problems can be addressed. Empowered women communities, school outreach programs, I mean like school reach out programs can also be done under community outreach programs and all. Energy literacy awareness, the utilization of energy, um, not wasting the energy that's there, so that also can be easily. So if not for social awareness, even inside it can also be counted under social awareness. If in classrooms and if in restrooms also, if lights are on, things like that, we can as a part of some club initiative or a community, I mean initiative, you can create posters and you can stick it wherever the switches are available. Please turn off the light when not in use. All those can be, that also can be clicked as proof for showcasing it to the or such kind of activities. So any other to be is whatever you need to be specified, you can specify and you can include in these. So for autonomous college and also for affiliated college, it's going to be the same. So we have completed with attribute number 6, I mean 5 and 6. We still have 3 more to go, 7, 8, I mean like 4 more to go, 7, 8, 9 and 10. So governance and administration is what 7 is going to talk about. Earlier itself in the revised accreditation framework, we see we have already so we know governance, leadership and management was there, right? So the same way, so the in line with that, this 10 metrics have been created. The marks for this is 100 for university, 100 for autonomous, and 125 for affiliated. So under institutional development, so under 7.7, we have institutional development plan, effective leadership, quality assurance system, statutory compliance and public disclosure. We have student and employee welfare. We have efforts for employability, grievance handling, inter-university collaborations, e-governance, then national and international collaborations, faculty retention. All these are going to come under governance and administration. So 7.1, under 7.1 institutional development plan, the score is 10 for university, 10 for autonomous, and 10 for affiliated. So the institution has clearly, whether the institution has clearly stated its mission, vision, and whether it is well aligned with institutional development plan. So what we call it strategic plan of the institution. So strategic plan is like down the line in 5 years, it's going to be the same. The vision of the institution is going to be like world class. We are going to become world class university. Things like that will be there and added in strategic plan, right? Like whether the mission and vision is aligning with the strategic plan that's been promoted. Okay, so so there are certain criteria under 7.1. We have parameters like the stakeholders involvement in the formulation of IDP or strategic plan. So whether the strategic plan that has been set has been validated or at least been got any input from the stakeholders of the institution, maybe the students, parents, people, those who come from the industry, getting a connection with us, maybe from the teachers, staff, all the shareholders involvement in formulation of the strategic plan, displaying vision and mission, the quality policy in strategic locations on the website, brochures, and advertisements. The dissemination of vision and mission. This is what we are. This is what we are going to achieve. Whether that has been displayed or not. So the dissemination is very, very important. And the strategic plan, along with long-term plans, operational goals, clearly defined milestones are widely published and hosted on institutional website. So in 2030, we are going to be this. So in 26 we are going to be this, 7 we are going to be this, 2028 we are going to be this, 29 we are going to reach this, and finally 2030 we are going to be this. So that's the goal, long-term goal, operational goal, clearly defined. The milestones, that's what we call it, milestones, are widely published. The regular academic and administrative audits, AAA audit and all, we regularly we do, right? So that accounts and reorients the institutional activities towards the IDP strategic plan. So the whether the audits, accounts, and the follow-ups are all these towards the achieving of strategic plan, are in line with strategic plan or the institutional development plan. So that's what it is. And specific intervention strategies and course corrections to realign to IDP or strategic plan. So in between, any strategies are included as a corrective measure that can also be there. So minutes of all these meetings, the documents, AAA audit reports, geotagged photographs clearly showing the mission, vision, the strategic places of the institutions, and dissemination of vision and mission to the parents. When we have parent teachers meeting and all, we can click pictures and we can showcase that also while displaying it. For autonomous colleges, it's going to be the same, but for affiliated colleges, there's slight change in the metric. It's tailor-made, and only option B and C are retained. All the others, or D and E, are deleted. Moving on with 7.2, effective leadership. 10 is counted for industry, 10 is for autonomous, and 15 is going to be for affiliated. So effective leadership is reflected in various institutional practices through adequate representation of stakeholders in decision making. So decision making representation, that also the sign wherever needed, that has to be kept as proof. Delegation of administrative powers, delegation of financial powers, keeping it in the posting it in the website publicly. These are the bodies. And effective feedback mechanism, feedback systems, and inclusion and diversity in leadership. Maybe gender cadre. So in the top position, women also are there. Men also are there. Like all the diversity, people with different caliber cadre are there. So that's effective leadership. Percentage of autonomous college out of total number of colleges. So it's not going to be applicable for unitary university, like one university on the whole. So total A, under that you have total number of autonomous colleges affiliated to university, total number of colleges affiliated to the university, that is also there. So deemed universities and all is there, right? So that's what we call it, unitary universities. So organization chart with roles and responsibilities properly put up. It needs to be there, needs to be documented. And university act, ordinance, the compliance, list of statutory committees, the minutes of it, after the sign, approvals, issues, and all, feedback mechanisms, if it is there, grievance is there, it has to be, everything is put up in place. So for autonomous colleges, for affiliated colleges, it's going to be the same for autonomous college with a slight change in the metric. Only option 1 is retained, 2 is not possible for autonomous colleges. So moving on with 7.3, quality assurance system. The institution has a dynamic IQAC. So the IQAC system, and who are all going to be the relevant stakeholders who are involved in the IQAC setup. Various committees of the institutions which will test the quality. You have uh, um, uh, um, um, advisory committees and all, right? So industry advisory boards like or that will improve the quality of the institution, and getting involved into seminars, quality workshops, like, so workshop like this what we do right now, that is also that the records of this can also be included regularly. Conduct regular conducts of AAA audits, assessment of performance based on the feedback provided in the audit report, practice of quality circles. For every 3 months we are going to do this, and like that. And collection of all the documents related to that is also needed. For autonomous college, it's going to be the same, but for affiliated colleges with a slight change, D and F deleted. 7.4 is statutory compliance. The marks is going to be 10 for university alone, and not for, this is not applicable for autonomous and affiliated colleges. So the regulations, whether the rules and regulations according to the acts are being executed, the members of the board, the frequency of the meetings, the reports, academic regulations, circulars, exclusively for universities. The links, whether they are available in the website, all those has to be checked. And 7.5 is all about student and employee welfare. The marks is 10 for university, 15 for autonomous, and 20 for affiliated. So the institution, whether it's having effective welfare measures for, even for teaching and non-teaching staff, whether the crush facilities are available for kids, whether school, any concession in school fees of faculties, in the group of institution, that is there, hospital facilities there, quarters there, health insurance, I mean, like health and life insurance schemes are there, all those. So faculty's daughter or son, if they want to join the institution, any concession and fees is there. Safety audits, leaves, sabbatical leaves, study leaves, how many leaves are there, all the service rule books, right? So we have that in colleges, right? So that is the employee welfare, whether all the documents are made. Maternity leave and all, paid maternity leaves, that also can be there. Fee waivers for the students can be put. All these documents should be having with appropriate proof, has to be there, with not only for university but for autonomous as well as affiliated colleges has to be there. And 7.6 is efforts for employability, life skills workshops and all workshops conducted. the proofs of it. Job fairs, development, aptitude development, placement classes, and all. You can show it as proof. I'll just carry out forward as we have like limited time. 7.7 is all about grievance handling, whether the cell has been there, anti-ragging committee, counseling center, redressal cell is there. All those complaints are registered. It has also been redressed. That also has to be there. So 7.8 is all about e-governance. We have this ABC ID for got it registered for students, right? So likewise for faculties, the academic degrees, digitalized academic degrees, all those e-governance, Digital India campaign itself is there, right? So for creating proofs of it and uploading all these has to be there. Then national international collaborations, the faculty exchange program, student exchange program, international visits, there we can go have workshops, that we can show it as proof, that also can be there. And faculty retention. So during the assessment, just previous to the assessment period, from there till the preceding year of the assessment period, the teachers retaining in the institution, that has to be there. The certified list of faculties who have left the institution before that, how many were there, retention ratio, um, faculty retention ratio has to be clearly put up. Attribute 8 is we are going to talk about the student outcome. From 8 is where the exact outcome we are going to talk about. So the student enrollment, academic graduation, progression pass percentage, awards and prizes, recognitions in their curricular and extracurricular, the learning experience of the student, how is the alumni connect happening. So student enrollment ratios, even before we apply for the accreditation process, this has to be included. Number of sanctioned seats, number of students admitted in the college, all these. And graduate progression. So how far the graduates have been progressed, whether they have got placed or whether they have become as entrepreneurs, that is what graduate progression is. That's the main outcome of the education, right? So that has to be properly made. So the where and all the what is the highest package, what is the average LPA, and all has to be properly, the appointment orders. And if entrepreneurs, the entrepreneurs, they have been registered under a state, right, a state government, that proofs has to be properly maintained. And pass percentage. So pass percentage for affiliated autonomous, it's not applicable. For university also, it's not applicable. For affiliated colleges, 10 marks are there. So pass percentage of the students during the last 3 years, like how many backlogs were there, all those details. Analysis of results that has been duly signed by the head of the institution has to be there. And 8.3 is all about the awards, prizes, recognitions, how far the education system in our college has made them achieve in things like winning accolades, medals, and all the copies made digitally available. So 8.4 is learning experience, the database of all students, alumni in the past 3 years, and all those. No, while during the qualifier itself, we have to be keeping it ready, showing the enrollment number, name, contact number, and email ID. So this is um, above all the metrics. This is the one that has to be created. This is the first file that has to be created along, because we have to send it with the qualifier itself. So attribute 9 is going to be research and innovation outcomes. The external research grants, how many, like for a university, if you take 10 lakhs has to be there. For autonomous colleges, 5 lakhs is enough as grants if we receive. And for affiliated colleges, at least 50,000 government grants if we get, that will be counted. For 9.2 research publications, under publications we all know, so Scopus indexed, Web of Science, UGC Care, book chapters, even Scopus indexed and all. So how many books in their own language, in own regional language, how many there, all the lists, links in the exact required format we have to send it along with the links. If we put it across, it will be fine. So research quality, what is the average hedge index, what is the citation index, that is also there, and number of phds registered, awarded during the time of assessment, I mean like during the assessment period. So the letters, guide name, guide is properly owning the guideship or not, and all those. Research fellowships like jrfs, junior research fellows, senior research fellows, only for universities these are applicable, not for colleges. So consultancy and training, whether we have we have taken some research work for industries, and we have done some projects, and we have gained some revenue out of doing a consultancy project, whether from different institute, from different industries outside, we have generated revenue. Okay, so generated revenue through mdps, management development program, executive development program, faculty development program, all those pucka proof has to be there, audited statements has to be there, CA, chartered accountant certified statements has to be there. Suppose if we are gaining some of 1 lakh from a consultancy, that has to be properly audited from by CA. So next we are moving on to the last sustainability outcome and green initiatives. So we have community activities. So student part like NSS activity, and so this all these we normally do. Proper geotagged photos supporting the documents and all, if it is there. Collaborating with NGOs, collaborating with professional bodies like CIA and all, we can do it and we can show it. And 10.2 is water and waste management. So rainwater harvesting structures inside our inside campus, or water recycling wastewater recycling management, bio waste, e-waste management, paper waste, reduction of waste inside the campus itself. That also can also be used for it can also be submitted for green audits. And environmental green audits and initiatives, energy audits, like I've told before, right? So the beyond campus initiatives also, like how are we going to tell the world about how we have to be responsible as we move towards sustainability, how responsible we should be maintaining the campus, or maintaining the home even clean and green, conducting activities and providing enough proof, getting the report, getting some certifications from recognized bodies for all these environmental promotional activities, that also takes place. Then yeah, so so these are the four measures under green audits, I mean like under sustainability outcomes and initiatives. So if we keep all these files ready, now that we have understood about what is expected out of this NAAC binary accreditation, right? So like we can go ahead and maybe um, we can achieve what we have desired for. Okay, so if there are any uh, questions, maybe we can go ahead. So just I'll just do a bit of what we have discussed, and then we'll open the flow for questions, if any. So these were the attributes we were actually concentrating about. Um, we have actually started off in detail from learning and teaching till sustainability outcomes and green initiatives. So as we move towards this agenda 2030, so all these additional I mean like additional attributes concentrating majorly on sustainability. And we also are we the now that day concept is been there, right? So diversity, equity and inclusion, that's there. So that is that also is that's why the inclusivity also, wherever we can see in a lot of the places, if we see diversity, I mean is being seen in most of the places, and inclusion also has been seen in most of the places. And also, um, some of the documents that you create for one particular attribute may also satisfy another attribute or as well, right? But in its own manner. So creation of documents is very, very important, as it's going to be digitally checked and digitally validated and verified. And as we all know that there's no peer team visits is going to take place, so we have to be, um, no fabrications can be done, no manipulations can take place. It's all going to be when date, time is on all is mentioned. Okay, so within this particular period of time, it has to be entered. It has to be entered, so that we can't escape from this. So I please share the PPT. Okay, I'm getting to see a lot of messages here. Okay, fourth criteria you wanted, right? Okay, maybe I'll show you. Wait, hold on. Okay, so I hope it's visible. Criteria number 4. Yeah, criteria number 4. The contribution of the split of marks is 50 for university and 50 for autonomous and 50 for affiliated colleges. Metric number 4.1, metric 4.1 under this financial resources management is that ratio of revenue income versus revenue expenditure. That's what is being highlighted here. So under this 4 point, I mean like 4.1, hold on. Yeah, yes. Here is 4.1 ratio of capital income versus capital expenditure. For university, it's 15. For autonomous, it's 15. And for affiliated alone, it's 20. So the amount received towards capital, government grants, management contributions, loans, endowments. So that's the capital income. And the expenditure on various infrastructure like instructional building, the academic infrastructure, the resources that are there, including library, hostel facilities, the labs, the equipments, the software. I mean, like the residences, quarters, amenities, payment of rentals if hostels has been kept outside. So all those audited statements, certified by chartered accountant, that has to be there, and the audit extracts of the same certified by CA also has to be kept. So financial, under this financial resources and management, the amount received, the capital amount received, the income versus expenditure is very, very important. In lakhs, it has to be mentioned. And the ratio of revenue income versus revenue expenditure. Revenue income, what do we, the revenue that we get through fees, through research grants, through ICSSR projects and all, we get it, right? Like through R&D grants, DST Curie, AICT grants for FDPs, for conduct of FDPs, workshops, from whatever source the income is going to come, salary grants, alumni contributions, particularly, and consultancy. We were talking about consultancy, the endowment, the acts, the scholarships, etc. For fee waivers and all, we get it. So all those should also be mentioned, properly audited by certified CA. Expenditure on various head like salaries, remunerations, maintenance, administrations, um, scholarships, providing assistance, electricity, and variable expenses, right? So, like transport, career guidance, skilling, employee benefits, extracurricular and co-curricular activities, like hiring people for extracurricular and co-curricular activities, coaching, I mean, like coaches, providing them remunerations and all. That also has to be properly, um, has to be put across, and it has to be certified by chartered accountant. And when we move on with 4.3, sustainability. So financial sustainability. So that includes the creation of corpus, diversification of investments, the audited income statement and expenditure certified by CA, and the sustainability, like as we the financial sustain, how we are able to, like, if in the case of some chaos or mishaps, what are the strategies that we have kept, and if we have diversification plans elsewhere, like how are we going to put forth, and all those, if we have, that has to be put across. Then financial controls and risk management, internal audits. So the mechanism of financial controls, whether the financial controls are in place, the internal audits are happening inside the organization itself, the external statutory audits from the legal board, and risk management approaches. If it's not, if the organize if the institution is not doing so very well, uh, uh, do we have options? What are the risk management approaches that has been there? So each and every, nothing to be, don't need to hide anything, but can show everything in a transparent manner, can show everything. So when it comes to financial resources and management, all these are very, very important and has to be. So as far as financial resources and management is concerned, any which ways, whatever it is, like income or expenditure, revenue based income or revenue based expenditure, capital income or capital expenditure, whatever it's going to be, we should be having it as a chartered accounted, certified statements for all these. So when we show all that as proofs, duly attested and duly signed by people out there, shouldn't be a problem. So I hope that covered. So next, we have seen all those. Rest of it we have seen. So the gist of it is, so under learning and teaching, all these, we'll have to make sure that pedagogical approaches, this comes under process, right? So like whether the pedagogical approaches are there, the learning management system is there, so we know what was under input, right? So like the curriculum is the base, actually, that is there. Faculty as resources, that is there. Infrastructure in place, that's there. Financial resources and management, all these are, why do we give is that, to get the best result out of all the input that we give, through a streamlined process, through a systematic way of working things out. Be it teaching and learning, we can't be following the old method of teaching. Now there are a lot of teaching learning methods that are available. We have activity based learning, we have a group learning, under which we have flipped classroom, discussion based learning, simulation based learning, role play based learning, then debate based, those are all there. So the curricular engagement, the how can we engage people with giving some extra, putting some extra effort, so that each and every activity that we do, if we record it and if we keep it, even though we have it in a manual manner, we if we have it in some cloud form, we come to hear about many colleges that are actually doing one repository form. There's one, they like how we use LMS, right? Colleges also now started to maintain a repository, maybe thinking one data, one a platform in mind. They, what they have done is that if in a particular college, if there are some 30 departments, all the departments, what they do is that they are creating one repository. Whatever program that's been happening, whatever event that's been happening every day, what they are doing is that they are creating a report then and there, and they are uploading it in the repository itself. Each and every day, maybe it may be in a cloud manner. So we have a lot of cloud service providers nowadays. We have Amazon, AWS, we have Azure, we have Google and all. So it's actually helpful in a way that we maintain the records digitally, so thereby we are going paperless as well. And also it's there in place. So everything, when it is in place, we don't need to do a last minute hurry, we don't need to get panicked. So I think this approaches has its own benefits. These are all benefits, like if we actually follow in the right track, um, doing this moving into a data driven environment, I think this will easily help us. I've seen one person raise the hand. Um, is there
Hello,
any? Yes, sir.
madam. I have one small clarification. When
Okay.
we are seeing the number of points or marks allotted attribute wise,
Yes, sir.
and the bifurcation in metrics,
Yes, sir.
there is no mismatch happening. It is not properly matching up with the total number of marks allotted to the
Okay.
attribute and the metrics. So I'm little bit confused on
Okay.
especially the affiliated colleges part. Little bit confused
Okay.
on where exactly should we match up, and whether this
It is
allocation
not
of
getting
marks
tallied, is it,
is
sir?
confirmed. Yeah, yeah. Is it confirmed or it is still in discussion?
Yes, it is actually the see the presentation. What we do is like we are actually getting prepared. We are on the process of getting prepared, but it's not yet launched. It is not yet out. Maybe we can't we can't publicly publish that this is going to be this. So this is the right now. It's not yet is having its launch. So before that, tomorrow itself we can have another thing. I mean, like another change in deviations in the mark coming up. So I think so. Like we don't have to be really worried on the marks part, but still the attributes, the metrics is what we need to concentrate. Is my point I would like to tell here. The mark split up is what is your worry, right? So you say that it's not getting tallied.
Yeah, yeah. No, why? Because
Um, yes,
let
sir.
us say attribute number five.
Yeah.
There are few things which are not applicable for affiliated colleges,
Okay.
and
Mm.
maybe tomorrow that might get included, and
Yes.
that might have some marks.
Yes,
So we are still open, no, for modifications. No,
yes, we are
there is
actually,
still
this is
no
not the
room for.
final, yeah, yes, this is not the finally published one. Actually, this is not
Yeah,
out for the public. Okay, so like, so we have to wait until the proper allocation of marks, proper allocation of evaluation parameters. The evaluation we can actually say that this is the route, and this is not exactly going to be the, so we can actually expect some kind of corrections, some kind of deviations in the evaluation parameters as well. But
okay.
compared to the previous one, there are a lot of changes that has been included here. So the institutions might not be aware of that, might not be ready with that. For example, if you say sustainability outcomes and all, the other things and all, maybe like if you talk about the curricular aspects, teaching and learning and all, that will be normally happening. Student support, progression and all, the placements, governance and leadership, that and all is very common. But certain things which is new, that we can take into account now and we can work on it, sir. So we'll have to wait till the launch, sir. That's the thing here.
Okay. Thank you, madam. Thank you.
Okay, sir. You anything else? I have seen some.
Good evening, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, your presentation was excellent, ma'am. We got
Thank you
so
so
much
much.
inputs.
Okay, ma'am. Thank
Ma'am, I have two questions.
Okay.
Ma'am, this binary accreditation is applicable from which academic year, ma'am? Is it 24-25 or 25-26?
Binary accreditation, that's what the firstly I mentioned. You can go, you can opt for basic accreditation. Like if you are in what is the state of your situation, ma'am? For example, I'm asking you, so have you
We
ever
are,
gone for have you ever
we are,
gone
no,
earlier?
yeah, we are into third cycle. But 3
Okay,
years,
if you are,
we have 3 years, we have uploaded AQAR in the
okay,
old system.
okay,
So the upcoming AQR will be in binary accreditation, like attributes or the old one, like criterion wise.
if you are going for cycle 3, you
Hmm.
can actually see, if you are so what is your validity period, ma'am, when it is getting over?
25-26.
25, 26. If you
Yeah.
say that 25, 26, if it's going to get over,
Uh,
what you can see is that for 25, 20, so 26 it will get over. So you
mm,
can go for, so until 26 you can be there with the, you can retain your accreditation there itself, and you can
mm.
go for the basic accreditation from there on. From
Okay.
2026 on, you can apply for basic accreditation. Or
Mm,
as you
uh,
say that you are in the third cycle, and
mm.
may I ask your grade, ma'am, if I'm like, if you wish to say?
B double plus, ma'am.
Okay, so if you say that, like, if you say that you are super good and if you are very well prepared, you don't even need to go for basic accreditation itself. You can directly, if you feel that you are strong enough, you can directly go for maturity based grading level itself. That also can be done. You
Okay,
can
okay.
either go for basic one or you can go for MBGL one.
Okay, okay.
So yes, so I didn't mention about the MBGL. So it is in depth. In if you say in depth, so MBGL is all about in depth and in breadth. People call it that way. So in depth is what institution excellence. I mean, like institutions of national excellence. So it comes under level 1 to 4. Level 1, 2, 3, and 4. It'll go in higher order. So if you say 4, then you have reached the utmost level of excellence in the national level. So that's, you call it in depth. And in breadth, if you see, you are going globally excellent. Your institution is going globally excellent. Your concentration is majorly on multidisciplinary, and you show, I mean, like, you the research, and you show your concentration on research and development. The education is going to go global. Sorry. um, so you're going to have student exchange programs, twinning programs, and all those. If you have all, if you already have international accreditation also, it's better you go with MBGL. So that also is one point that I wanted to include. So as you
Thank you, ma'am.
can,
Thank you.
yes, ma'am. Yes, thank you, ma'am. So actually, as we move through the implementation of NEP, it is all about enhancing the quality of education. So that's what is more important. That's why these reforms, transformative reforms, has been taken place, and through the teaching and learning, through research and innovation, these are the major concentrations. Through enhancing the employability skills, through giving the equity, diversity, inclusion, social integration, providing the academic standards, academic ambience, then sustainability. People are talking about all these, so these are actually the talk of the town now. So, so we have the accreditation system also has to move towards that attainment. So that's why, so rather than concentrating on the infrastructure, these are all the things that has to be concentrated more upon. Likewise, like all the attribute wise. So as far as India's higher education system is concerned, so accreditation and ranking is something very important. So it is actually becoming the part and parcel of our everyday time. So it's becoming very integral part. It's as we move through the transformation phase, this is something that we have to concentrate and do it wholeheartedly. Also, it's tech driven, right? So it is actually going to minimize all the workload, and it's going to maximize the quality. That's what is we are actually expecting. So the manual involvement in all these evaluation, assessment and evaluation is going to get down, and the the transparency of making the assessment, that is what is very the positive point about the NAAC's binary accreditation is that. So making it very transparent, without any fabrication, without any falsification, without any manipulation, um, without any bribe, the the accreditation process has to happen in a very religious manner. So maybe this NAAC accreditation is going to get in place. I've got a message. So one of you have asked, attribute 10 was explained too quickly. Okay, I'll go ahead with that. If you're still there, I can take you through that. I thought the time was over, and that's why I just hurried up. Sorry for that. So it had community activities, waste and water management. It has progression towards net zero, and it also had um, green audits and initiatives. So I can actually take you here through that. So this is community activity. This is the thing that we normally do. The participation in a percentage of students participation in community activities, then NGOs, getting along with NGOs and doing things, um, getting along with professional bodies and doing things, and creating that as reports. Then waste and, I mean, like water and waste management, like recycling recycling paper. Like nowadays we most of the colleges, it's going paperless. Okay, so we do all we get all mail approvals now. We keep that safe. We store all those in cloud and all. So that is there, and progressing towards net zero. So I think this has been skipped there, like the facilities for alternate sources of energy, and so we have nowadays, right? Energy conservation measures such as solar energy, wind energy, biogas plant, wheeling to the grid, the sensor based energy conservation, using of LED bulbs instead of tube lights, and energy consuming bulbs. So instead of that, we can go for this. We'll be actually having a lot of labs and all, lab facilities and all. So you can actually, if you're if it is possible and affordable, nowadays people are like, the institutions are going ahead with solar tree plantation itself, like solar panels itself. It'll be in a tree structure or whatever structure it is, like from there people are able to use it for labs, and in the case of power shutdowns people use it. And you can that itself creates an impression. That photo, if you take it and post it itself, like people the institution has spent so much on the solar tree plantation. That itself is a very good document. So that way you can easily score this particular in this particular 10.3 towards net zero, like reducing carbon emissions. And 10.4 is green audits. This I think we have seen it earlier, like use of electric vehicles. Then green building audit. So whether we build our building, our infrastructure um, uh, in a sustainable what see, GRIHA is nothing but green rating for integrated habitat assessment. And IGBC, that is all about Indian green building um, consultation or something like that. So it's all towards whether you build an infrastructure, whether you build a building, is it going to support sustainability concept? That's it. So pertaining to this, how are you going to keep your campus and beyond campus initiatives as well? So even beyond the campus, how are you, like what is the measures that you have taken? So the certificate pertaining to that, you can get it from the proper recognized agency. And you can do promotional activities also, environmental promotion activities also. You can do campaigns on this, so that the environmental quality, it's more like, people in industry, people call it CSR activity, right? So like, likewise we can do it, we can do this environmental to build the environmental quality of the institution, um, campus, and also the surrounding. That also we can keep it clean and green. Okay. There is any format for documentation be collected. 3 years data to be collected, sir. That's the assessment period. Going for fresh application, from where should we start the documentation? You have to start creating the documentation from list of students enrolled, list of students placed, list of students as entrepreneurs. That's very, very important. So that is while creating the SSR itself, while creating the QIF, right? So that quality indicator framework itself, you need to do that. Like, that is mandatory. It's needed. Yeah, I hope we can close it. Any format, like if needed, I'll share the presentation to the organizing team. Maybe they'll help you get the PPT. Thank you all for your kind participation. Thank you all for your for your interaction. Thank you so much, college management organizers, for giving the opportunity and having a good connection with you all. Had a great time. Have a good evening, Bill. Thank you. Thank you, professors.
Thank you, ma'am, for the informative session, ma'am.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
I am Bhavadharni from Pencil Bits. I would like to thank all the participants for listening to the session patiently. Feedback link is given in chat window. So all the participants are kindly asked to fill the form and they can leave. You can leave. Thank you.